Morning, morning, everybody. Michelle is here. Today is Friday. What does that mean? Nothing. It's just another day in the neighborhood. So I hope everybody's doing fantastic, wonderful, and marvelous. Because you ought to. You know what I mean? You ought to. You created it, so you ought to enjoy it. Because everything that's happening in your life, you created it. So if you don't like what you created, you know what you need to do is change it. So I think there's a lot of people going around, as we all know, and we are doing nothing more and nothing less than just entertaining everybody. We're all entertainers at some point in our lives and development. When we're on this social media platform, we have no idea who's paying attention, and we have no idea who's no idea what someone's genuine intentions are, right? So again, I stay righteous, and I do walk the talk. But at the same time, I know that there are some complexities that are just, I mean, if I put a lot of thinking into it, I would definitely go into rumination and overthinking and making it, because there are some troubling things. That, I mean, there are some troubling things, and it more has to do with how we relate to each other and our interpersonal relationships. That's what's bringing us so closer and closer to just destroying ourselves, as we have over the past hundreds and thousands of years. And a lot of it has to do with misunderstandings. A lot of it has to do with ignorance, and a lot of it has to do with people just projecting, assuming, not applying proper judgment, proper discernment. And the most important thing, and the one that's really slowly killing a whole lot of people, is that they are not thinking for themselves. They are like parasites on other people and following what other people are doing, paying close attention to what people are wearing and what people are saying, so that they can morph themselves into that. And so that there's good and bad with that. There's positive and negative with that. A lot of these entertainers, and we know who they are, a lot of entertainers have not walked the talk. All right, come on, it's quite obvious that they have not walked the talk, but they are fantastic at recreating an image of such. And that can be powerful for people following them too. So in other words, they're putting out a projection of an experience, or putting out a projection of a persona. A lot of people eat that up, and some people will outperform the entertainer in that process of living those experiences. If you understand what I mean. So if someone's on stage telling you how independent they are, what are you going to do? You're going to want to be just as independent. So a lot of entertainers do provide instructions, even though they're not the ones actually living those particular type of lifestyles. They provide instructions to their followers. So in a way, they are teachers in a indirect form. They don't know they're teaching, and they don't know that the impact they're causing. And that goes for everybody. So that, like, politicians, or most of them are actors and actresses, they're entertaining. Yet at the same time, you do have to suffer consequences for your behavior. That's why you need to be always conscious and know, and when you're on that stage of entertaining, make sure you understand what your intentions are, and what are you attempting to relay to all these millions of people following you. What is your intentions towards all of these millions of people following you? So, and that's why it's a heavy burden. I wouldn't do it. That's all I'm saying. I could not pull it off, put it that way. So it's a great skill that some people have. I cannot pull off certain things about myself if it's not true. Based on all the work I've done, I couldn't do it. Okay, so that's why I'm not so mesmerized by entertainers. and celebrities, and I have a whole lot of love for them. I think they're fantastic and wonderful and magnificent now. But I don't necessarily need them to project to me what it means to be independent. Okay, I've experienced that and I know what it means. Those kind of things. Or be confident. Yeah, I'm confident. And successful. Yes, I'm successful. All those kind of things. With me is not necessarily material. And they'll tell you that too. And a lot of them have figured that out. And I think a lot of them, if they had to do it all over again, they probably would back out of it. Because, with the massive overpopulation, everybody's scrapping at them, and, parasites and leeches, and following their every word and following their every move. I mean, I would be terrified of that. Not terrified, but I wouldn't like it, put it that way. Yeah, I'm not terrified, but I wouldn't enjoy it, put it that way. Uh, I like my free will. That's what I love. I like my free will, where I can, make the decisions based on what I know and feel and experienced, and then go from there. The more experience you have, the more options you have as well. That's why I say experience things, and you get the most experience by dealing with different people from all walks of life. Okay, like in my past job as a first responder, there is no way I would want to live in certain neighborhoods. And these neighborhoods are considered affluent, by the way. And it's because of the massive chaos. There's more chaos, in certain neighborhoods that everyone, want to be. Sometimes there's a lot of chaos in those neighborhoods. Okay. And then, as I said, growing up in Black culture, there are more times of peace and quiet than anything else. So there's a lot of misperceptions and a lot of lies and manipulations, intentional, by the way, intentional. So, so as I get ready to get on the road, like I said, I'm gonna sell my house. And I'm gonna take a road trip. I'm gonna go over to, go to certain parts of the West Coast, because I know most of the East Coast, and I understand the East Coast very well. And if I choose to live on the East Coast, I have an idea where I want to go, but I'm not gonna say how about that. And on the West Coast, but I don't know too much about the West Coast, and I want to check it out. I want to know what is going on over there as well. I wish to meet up with people, but that's fine. I do know some people over there. One of my relatives just moved over to the West Coast. So I may pop in and say hello to them. And, just, let me feel for myself. Let me see for myself. Let me hear for myself what's going on. And like I said, because our energy is going to take us where we need to be. Okay, the energy of our thoughts. That's why that's why a lot of people, think they can fool people. You can fool everybody. Everybody can fool each other, but you can't fool your subconscious mind, your consciousness, and the flow of your energy. Your flow of your energy is going to be the flow of your energy, and that is based on your thoughts. So, like I said, you can fool and masquerade all you want, but at some point you're going to be getting that tap on the shoulder. You need to resolve this. You need to resolve this. You need to resolve this. And then you're going to be put into situations where you need to resolve this. If you don't resolve it, as a responsibility, well, circumstances are going to be showing up in your life to help you do so, to help you resolve issues. And usually these are issues that most people like to keep brushing off, and thinking they're projecting it on somebody else. I told you about the boomerang, okay? I told you about cause and effect, okay? I told you that you will reap what you've sown. And there is nothing nefarious about that. And I also told you about the pendulum, the swinging of the pendulum, so, and the events of the overpopulation, the events of the pole shift, the events of the disturbance with the planet, especially interior portions of the planet being constantly disturbed and done under the cover of darkness and secrecy. Okay, and that's that's where, and then also, not to mention, there's so much going on deep within the ocean. That's why people know. That's why some people know there's treasures of former civilizations down there that's being uncovered. Okay, so a lot of people say, "Well, I want proof. I want proof. I want proof." Well, you know that's understandable, but keep in mind, some things is not about proof. It's about, is it logical, rational, reasonable? Does it make sense? Is it can you reproduce it? Does it make sense? Is it understanding? Is it possible? Okay, so the work continues. It just doesn't stop. Okay. So when I get ready to, get on the road and stuff like that, I'm going to do some planning on how, where I want to go and how I want to get there. And I'm going to enjoy it the best I can. I know there's nothing glamorous about traveling in a vehicle. Whoever tells you that is lying. There's nothing glamorous about that. Shit. There's nothing glamorous about flying either. I don't like flying, but I will. Because I've seen, some people tell me, it's so noisy on a plane. Why is it so goddamn noisy? And then, not on a plane, and then on the train, the same thing. You can get all kind of characters that come on the plane. Come on your train. I'm gonna do some train rides. I want to do that too. Let's see what that's about, and just get a hands-on experience. Okay, and that's the best way, actually. Okay, that's the best way, is to have hands-on, all in it experience. Get your hands dirty, so to speak. So I just want to go ahead and share that this Friday morning to let you know that I'm progressing quite, in a great pace. So before you know it, like I told my neighbors, before you know it, you'll see me one day, and the next day you won't see me again, because I doubt I'll be over in this area for a while. I usually don't have a reason to come back to places I've been, but I probably won't come back over this area for a while, because it's so far out and away from, most direct forms, from major interstates and major roads and blah blah blah. It's a rural area, but it's changing, quite changing. And and like I said, a lot of people are going to be start moving around, moving in certain areas. It's all going to be energy based, and be where they need to be. So, good or bad, positive or negative, it's all based on the state of mind. But we all are responsible for equalizing our thoughts, our emotions, and feelings, and be able to handle things, in a kind way towards yourself, kindness towards others. And remember, if you do things to yourself, it's going to be a boomerang, right? And it's just going to come back, and hopefully you're being kind and gentle with yourself. That way you can get kind and gentle results. Okay? So I'll go ahead and share that this morning. Go in here and get my day started. So I want to send peace and love all over. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. And trust me, I'll be back.